What's good, everybody? It's Batman, and we're going to be doing another reaction video for DC, and it's also pertaining to Batman once again. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. We're going to be getting into it, and this title caught my attention because I don't just click on any Batman video. Don't get me wrong, I love Batman a lot, but I'm not going to do that. Unless it really catches my eye, then I'm going to check it out, and I'll put it in there, and I'll react to it for you guys. And obviously, if you guys ever have any recommendations, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll check it out as well, especially if it pertains to Batman, DC, whatever the heck it is. It could be anything really, animes, manga, you name it. But its title of the video is The Science of How Powerful is Batman. That's really, really cool. I really enjoy that and like that because this type of a video, especially with that being the title and that's what the question is, it really gets you thinking because you're going to have to analyze all the feats Batman has done, even any statements to collaborate with that as well to substantiate whatever notion you're going to convey with the character, you know? And it's really, really cool because Batman, as you all know, is a composite character and he has many, many, many things. He's one of the most popular characters out of the entirety of fiction, you know, period. Was one of the first characters to even make the Hall of Fame, or I forgot what it was, but he did some major accomplishment that no fictional character has done yet. No one, not Marvel, nothing, you know. So the fact that, you know, Batman's just that popular, it speaks volumes. And numbers, you know, the character can never be killed. Like the list goes on and on of all the reasons why Batman is just Batman, right? But it's a very great question, and I thought that was a really cool concept for a video as well, and that's what we're gonna be checking out today. So hope you guys enjoy, and you know, and as for anyone, all of you probably were involved with this video or knew about Batman in some way, whether if it was from Comic Explained, the Historian, the Arkham games, the movies, the shows, things like that. That's more than likely how everybody eventually found out about the character to begin with, or obviously even Halloween, you know. So again, like there's so many outlets and ways to eventually know what the character is about and who he is, and it's really cool. So we're gonna check it out, and as I always do, because I like to shout out people as well. This YouTube channel is called The Trick Theory, so definitely check him out. I'll put it in the title of the video or in the description down below. Just click his name, give him all the love and support, and you'll probably see how many incredible videos he has. And check it out. If you like it, great. Give him the love. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's do it.
Batman is one of the strongest humans around, having performed completely ridiculous feats that no human would survive, let alone pull off on a daily basis. But exactly how
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. There is no goddamn human that can kick a fucking tree, bro, in half, okay? Or no human that can have its face slammed into the concrete by Wonder Woman, remind you, and be unscathed, okay?
strong is Batman compared to your average human? The answer will give us some incredible insights into the character and lead us to Batman's greatest strength that often goes unnoticed. Batman is one of, if not my favorite superhero, since he trains himself to do everything he does, and being self-made personifies a human capacity for learning, seeing how Batman has learned the equivalent of 12 PhDs worth of knowledge, but it's his physical stats that are even more insane when compared to even the greatest lifters and athletes on the planet. To give you an idea of how strong Batman is, Batman has been seen bench pressing unassisted anywhere from 405 pounds when sufficiently distracted to 585 pounds for multiple reps, which is pretty strong, but for reference, the current world record for an unassisted bench press is 722 pounds, except in Batman issue 655, he is shown benching all the way up to 1,000 pounds, shattering the world record. In Batman Odyssey issue 2, Bruce mentions that his maximum leg press is 2,500 pounds as he leg presses a train apart, with the current world record for leg press being 2,469 pounds. Batman routinely deadlifts 620 pounds for 35 repetitions, which is an insane amount of reps for a person's body to withstand in a single training session, along with having held a 1,000 pound ceiling in an overhead press. But way beyond that, Batman's squat is shown to be around 525 pounds for 5 repetitions of 10 sets. That's 50 squats in total, along with clean and jerk lifting 262 pounds 24
Man is a
times
monster.
and running 20 miles, averaging 4 minutes and 50 seconds
Hell
per
no.
mile, with an emphasis on cutting off 30 more seconds a mile on his rest day. Batman is so strong for a man of his weight class, being 210 pounds, that he routinely benches well over, if not over double, the weight for an elite lifter of his weight class, while squatting around 100 more pounds and deadlifting 40 more pounds for way more repetitions than a regular man dare would. This isn't to say that Batman doesn't have his limits. In the storyline Venom, after failing to save a little girl from drowning, Batman then began pushing himself to be able to handle heavier weights, as we see him failing to deadlift 630 pounds. But what's far more impressive is the physical feats that Batman has strengthened his body to accomplish, ranging from achievements that professional athletes could accomplish.
I love the music. It's from the Arkham games. That's hands down fucking peak and legendary. But all the stuff he's showing right now in the background on the screen, those are all the animated Batman movies. You guys need to watch that if you have not seen that. All the Batman movies are incredible. Just go on, it's on Max. You can either go on Max on the Amazon Prime, or you can do it just with the app alone. But incredible. You can see all the DC stuff there. The Batman shows, the movies. It's all incredible. You guys are missing out if you have not seen that.
All the way to something that only Batman himself is strong enough to do. Batman has literally ripped the door off of a speeding airplane in mid-flight, which takes more than 24,000 pounds of pressure or 12 tons of pulling force, and is the equivalent of being able to pull the weight of 6 cars or 20 polar bears at once. Batman has lifted giants like Solomon Grundy, who weigh over 500 pounds, up over his head with one arm. He has been known to stop speeding cars using just his...
That man said one arm, bro.
strength alone, and even with one arm. He has been known to stop speeding cars using just his strength alone, and even held up the
This motherfucker Spider-Man low-key stopping cars.
entire Batmobile from falling off a bridge in 2004's The Batman. Insanely, he has worked out by dangling off the edge of a skyscraper, doing one-armed pull-ups in 137-degree heat. Has held open a crocodile's mouth, with crocodiles having the strongest bite ever measured at 3,700 pounds per square inch, or 16,460 newtons. Batman has trained to be able to not only kick and thus explode entire trees in half, but as infamously analyzed in my previous Batman video, has moved so fast to outright dodge,
which goes to show how much he holds back, because let's be real, guys, like, you would need like something to with very strong piercing AP power to cut through trees, or have like the force of a hurricane, tornadoes, whatever you name it, or better yet, a gun to go through a tree. Like, this man is literally a gun, in a sense. Like, just his legs and arms. That's how much this motherfucker holds back. Because obviously a human's body's durability in comparison to a tree is nowhere near. Like, basically humans would be butter to him with how strong he is. But he has to restrain himself because he doesn't want to kill them, you know? It's just crazy, though.
Bullets that his body can accelerate at and withstand upwards to 845 times Earth's gravity, with astronauts commonly experiencing only 3 Gs during a rocket launch. But as cleverly pointed out by this community, Batman commonly dodges bullet fire by analyzing body movements and predicting when a trigger is about to be pulled, setting his acceleration to somewhere around 5 Gs, except in the case of Batman Under the Red Hood, where we do see Batman move after a bullet is fired from a gun towards him. But far more absurd is how strong Batman's body is at taking punishment. As in Batman issue 15, he takes a direct blast from a bazooka and keeps fighting unfazed. Batman has been thrown and punched through concrete walls many times, and even took a fall off Wayne Tower, falling multiple stories.
Like, bro, like, I understand he's human, but that's not some human shit, bro. This man is literally dead ass, like, fucking superhuman, bro. Like, he's over here replicating basically Spider-Man feats, but with no powers, man. Like, it's like, what the fuck? like
walked to walls many times.
That right there. So I'm trying to pause it for you guys. And slamming his head into the concrete. And that was a bloodlusted Wonder Woman, remind you, but that was being controlled by Joker. Joker wanted Batman dead at that point. And he's fine. That's crazy.
And even took a fall off Wayne Tower, falling multiple stories, but walked away each time. He's even survived being shot point blank by a frickin' tank, set on fire, electrocuted, frozen, and is strong enough to survive in Krypton's gravity, which has been depicted to be anywhere from 30 to 100 times greater than that of Earth's. Which is all the more insane when you realize that while human bones can take up to 90 times Earth's gravity, they can only withstand 10 times Earth's gravity when the person begins moving around. Not not to mention your muscles would most likely not be strong enough to move you anyways, as Batman, who weighs 210 pounds, would have to squat the equivalent of 6,300 or 21,000 pounds to stand up from a chair. But even more impressive is just how strong Batman's mind is. Batman issue 52, he is shown to have stumbled upon a sub-zero waterfall where he promptly undressed and stood underneath it completely unfazed. Or in Batman volume 2 issue 23, at the age of 24, he was able to fight for 28 hours straight in a never-ending gauntlet of opponents, where the fight only ended because Batman's will to never give up was enough to deter any more fighters from entering the contest. His IQ is stated to be a 13th level intellect, or what is about 200 IQ points, putting him above Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein, whose IQs are estimated to be between 160 and 180, making the 8 languages and 127 martial arts styles he's mastered more believable, if not just a bit more. But what really shows just how mentally and physically strong Batman is a story that came to a climax in Batman issue 681, where Bruce hadn't slept for days and found himself trapped underground in a coffin while wearing a straitjacket that also had multiple locks on it, with about 30 minutes of air left. As I mentioned in an older video, but in much less detail, Bruce then flashbacks to his time in Nanda Parbat, where in order to completely hunt down and destroy any fears that were left in his mind, he underwent the Thogul ritual, which was an extremely dangerous form of meditation derived from a Tibetan tradition that few had ever completed, where one is isolated in a cave for 49 days, and in Batman's case, a large boulder was placed in front of the entrance, where one simulates their death over and over, leading to their eventual liberation from death and rebirth. After completing the ritual, Batman remembers a meeting with a monk where he expressed that in order to protect his consciousness, he realized he could create a second personality as a backup. The monk replied that Bruce was remarkable and expressed sorrow at having poisoned the tea he was drinking, and chuckled that he had 2 minutes left to live. Unfortunately for the monk, Bruce mentioned that not only had he inoculated himself against most toxins, but as a habit, he had also switched the monk's cup of tea and his own in the time that it took for the monk to blink. And Bruce had also held an antidote that neutralized the effects of any toxin that he wasn't resistant to. The average human eye blink lasts around 1/10 of a second or 100 milliseconds, meaning that Batman, assuming he had to reach anywhere from 1 to 3 feet in front of him, would have to move his hands anywhere from 6.8 to over 20 miles per hour to barely make it unnoticed. Which may not sound very impressive until we look at the reaction time required to time the monk's blink, as the best athletes' reaction times are usually between 120 and 160 milliseconds, with the world record being 101 milliseconds being too slow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Making Batman easily have the best reaction time of any human. After this, we then see Batman, while having a concoction of drugs and Joker venom running through his system, bench press a heavy pine coffin lid through an additional 600 pounds of soil in a rainstorm. And it's looking at just how strong Batman is that gives us the greatest strength of this character. Looking at the grueling training that Batman pushes himself through is what makes him my favorite. He acquired his strength and skill through pure effort and training. He doesn't need a suit of armor or powers to be a complete monster. And this leads us to Batman's greatest strength. After years of traveling the world, educating himself under men that money could not buy, the greatest strength and genius of Batman is that it pretends to be realistic. Batman is absolutely insane and sometimes completely ridiculous, but the character has grown to be a symbol for how far you can push yourself both mentally and physically, as oftentimes people fall short of the willingness to do what's necessary to obtain their goals, which is where the story of
I agree very much. It's one of the most beautiful concepts of Batman, of how much you can relate to the character, how much he inspires and motivates you as a human being yourself to be able to try to accomplish whatever you're trying to desire, and to always push your body in, you know, your mind physically or mentally to its absolute limits, and to continue to break PRs and surpass, you know, any previous goals or you know, moments you've had, you know. So like, that's one of the most incredible things about Batman. He's literally the embodiment of that, you know. So absolutely.
Incredibly determined man comes in, serving as a widespread example of how much your brain and body is capable of learning if you only dare to put in the effort to reach your goals. But if none of this was enough to convince you...
One thing he did forgot to, he mentioned a lot of feats, a lot of strength things, durability things, whatever, etc. He did a very, very great job, but he didn't really go over a lot of speed feats. The only thing he really talked about was like the blink moment. But Batman also has reacted and fought against speedsters like the Reverse Flash, who doesn't care about killing, and also the Flash himself. Which, mind you, these are guys that are beyond like the speed of light, etc., the whole fucking nine, and he can respond and react to those people. So even speed-wise, he is absolutely insane.
That Batman is a symbol of true human potential, then I saved my best piece of evidence for last. The human nervous system is incredible at learning and adapting to whatever you do, and in order to maximize his time, Bruce has pushed his nervous system to get used to polyphasic sleeping, where like Leonardo da Vinci, he only takes short naps throughout the day, sometimes lasting only 5 minutes to 1 hour, and has gotten his body used to going 80 hours with no sleep. Watch this video if you want to see how hard Batman can punch, and subscribe if you love learning.
Well, that's really cool. Okay. How much he can punch? Interesting. That's very interesting. He has some pretty cool Batman videos as well. We'll probably have to check that out eventually, because these are actually really interesting videos. When you're applying science, okay, and that's how you're even scaling a character as well, that's just so cool and intriguing to me, you know. But I'm gonna say this right off the whip: an incredible video, very, very great video. This guy did a great job, and you know, at the end of the day, if I'm being really honest with you, like, you know, like, it's been a while since I've seen a really good Batman video like this. You know, they're not really that common. So shout out to this guy. Did a great job. It seems like he has really great content out there too. Definitely give him the love, man, and give him the support. He does a great job. But as always, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about Batman in general and overall. Any recommendations as well. Anything science related too when it comes to Batman. And I hope we all learned that he's definitely not a normal human being. You guys should have been known that, but, you know, just saying. Anyways, Batman out. Peace.